Hello students, and welcome to your first lesson of Year 11 General Maths. I'm sure most of you already know this, but just to be clear, the point of these videos is to go through key ideas and examples. Then you will need to attempt the textbook work yourself. You will need to copy down these key ideas and copy down these examples, just as you would in the classroom, into your notebook. Obviously, you will need to pause the video as you do so, because I will not be stopping for you to copy things down. Anyway, let's get started. Our learning intention for this first lesson is be able to simplify rates and calculate percentage increases and decreases. This should mostly be a recap of stuff you've done in previous years. So what is a rate? Well, in simplest terms, a rate is a relationship between two units. So, for example, speed is the most common rate, kilometers per hour, meters per second, and so on. Could be your wage, dollars per hour, or it could even be something like nutrition, the amount of kilojoules per serving. You can also see that I've got a few more examples up here. Essentially, and I've tried to highlight key formulas in yellow, a rate is the first value divided by the second value. It really is that simple. So if I wanted to know speed, it's the first value, kilometers, divided by the second value, hours. First value, dollars, divided by the second value, hours. First value, kilojoules, divided by the second value, serving. Anyway, so let's have a look at this first example. At what rate would you be moving if you're on a bus that travels, oops, sorry guys, let me move that again. At what rate in kilometers per hour are you moving if you're on a bus that travels 11.5 kilometers in 12 minutes? Well, hopefully we know to find the speed of something, it's the distances traveled divided by the time taken. Note it is asking for kilometers per hour, and it gives us the time in minutes. So see how I've written here in the time as 12 over 60, representing 12 60ths of an hour. So I've gone the distance, 11.5 kilometers, divided by how much of an hour I've got there, giving me 57.5. Now, because it is a worded question, I need to do a worded statement at the end here, saying you are traveling at 57.5 kilometers per hour. I know this might seem like a very obvious question, but guys, always do a mental check. Is this a reasonable answer? Does that seem reasonable? Would a bus travel at 57.5 kilometers per hour? Well, probably not in a residential zone, but yeah, that seems like a reasonable speed to me. Okay, on to the second example. Remember, you need to pause this video to get these examples down as you go. So, percentages are often used in the context of discounts and markups. So, our learning intention was rates and percentages. That's really all we need to know for rates. Let's look at percentages. So Sarah has bought a car for $7,500 and she sells it 4 years later for a discount, at a discount of 30%. How much did she sell the car for? So there's two ways to do this. This is the slower method, which most of you probably would be familiar with. So, whoops, sorry, let me get rid of that. Oh dear, click the wrong button there. There we go. So the first method will be, well, if she's sold it for 30% less, what's 30% of 7,500? To do that, I go 30% multiplied by 7,500, giving me a value of 2,250. So the price of the car, it is a car, yep, the price of the car has reduced by $2,250. So the selling price of this car is the original price, 7,500, minus the discount that's been taken, 2,250. 7,500 minus 2,250 gives me 5,250. So look, that is one way to do it. It wouldn't be the way I'd recommend. A better way to do it would be this way. And this is probably what we should be doing now that we're in the senior school. So what I've done here is I'm actually going to jump to the third line here. I've done 7,500 multiplied by 70%. Now, where did I get that 70% one from? Well, Sarah sold her car for a discount of 30%. So the value she's selling it for is 30% less than its initial value. What's 100% minus 30%? That would be 70%. You can see up here I've written original multiplied by 1 minus the discount percentage, and you can certainly include that too. This is saying that's the original percentage, 1 representing 100%, minus 30%, giving me 70%. Really, all I would need to see would be these last two lines here. Anyway, so what this is saying is Sarah is selling her car for 70% of its initial value. 70% of 7,500 would be 7,500 multiplied by 70%, giving me a value of 5,250. As you can see, I end up with the same answer regardless. Both methods give me 5,250. I know I recommended the method on the right, but if you want to keep using the method on the left, that's fine. You'll still get full marks either way. And of course, worded question, so worded answer, Sarah sold the car for $5,250. Okay, Before I look at the next example, I do want to highlight this formula here. Hopefully what's in yellow looks pretty familiar. Percentage change is change in amount over the original amount multiplied by 100. So if I want to know the percentage increase or decrease, the percentage discount or percentage markup, these are all fancy ways of saying the percentage change. It is how much the figure has changed divided by the original amount. Now, if I leave off this 100 here, that would just give me the figure as a decimal. So we times it by 100 to turn it into a percentage. Anyway, Ramon has bought a laptop in a sale for $774.40. If the original price was $968, what was the percentage discount? So percentage discount, it's a fancy way of saying what's the percentage change. So I've written on the top here, change in amount. Well, that's the discount. How much did the price of the item go down by? As you can see, I've gone 968 minus $774.40. So the amount the laptop price has gone down by is $193.60. The original amount is the original price of the item, so before the discount was applied, which is 968. So we'd input this in my calculator, and I get a value of 20%. And of course, worded question, I have to include a worded statement with my answer. Ramon got a 20% discount on his laptop. Okay, and that looks like just about it for the examples for this lesson. So students, you will now need to go to page 5 of your textbook. Now, I don't think it's page 5 of the digital textbook, but it's definitely exercise 1.2, and complete the following questions. Remember, you need to do this in your workbook, not on the computer, because your assessment for general maths when you return will still be handwritten exams. Any further questions, students? Best to ask your teacher. Good luck.